NBA insider Marc Stein reveals new surprising Hawks trade details, and I have to say, this is crazy. Sacramento Kings guard Zach LaVine made a strong offseason push to convince the Sacramento Kings to pursue a trade for all-star Trae Young, and this is according to NBA insider Marc Stein, and I have to say, that is a bit crazy, of course, given what has gone on in Sacramento with the firing of their head coach. Now, of course, he's the head coach of the New York Knicks, and also down to the firing of their general manager, and also what the new general manager had to say as far as how the Kings are going to proceed further. But also, I wanted to point out how Atlanta had done so much in the offseason, acquiring Kristaps Porzingis, bringing in Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and even their actions in the draft, bringing in Asa Newell, and in the year prior, bringing in Zaccharie Risacher. Ultimately, just pointing out how at one point we all said that there wasn't a market for Trae Young, and then finding out this information that happened in the offseason, in an offseason where the Atlanta Hawks had made a bevy of different moves. Again, this is crazy, and I'm here to talk about all of the stinky little details going on in that regard, as well as what we got going forward for the Atlanta Hawks in regards to the return of Trae Young. Hopefully by November 30th, we'll know as to whether or not Trae Young will be back, or if he's going to be on extended leave, and hoping that he can get his knee better. But with all that being said, let me go ahead and just open up the show and welcome everybody in. What's going on, everybody? My name is Walter Pollard. This is Atlanta Hawks Digest. Good morning, November 24th. A few days before Thanksgiving. Listen, I ask this question every year because I really find it to be extremely important. But with Thanksgiving just around the corner, I have to ask you guys, and leave it in the comments, okay? Leave it in the comments. Natural cranberry sauce or the canned cranberry sauce, okay? I just want you guys to let me know your choice. Natural, regular cranberries with the berries and stuff, and cranberry sauce that was made from scratch, or the canned cranberry sauce. I am a canned cranberry sauce kind of kid myself. Okay, the grooves from the can is there to let you know that you can slice it accordingly. It is perfect. It's gelatin. You dig what I'm saying? You can eat it as such. If I could eat it all year, I would. But that's not why we are here. We're here to talk about the Atlanta Hawks. We're here to talk about this trade. But before we go any further, I want to thank everybody for all of the views that we have gotten on this channel, all of the subscribers. We thank everybody. To the 2,827 of you, I do appreciate all of you. And then, of course, to the 52% of you that have not subscribed to the page. We say it every day. I say it every day. Continue to view our content, for one, because I do appreciate it. This graphic right here tells me that you guys are watching our content. You do watch, and sometimes you even go so far as commenting and leaving your ideas and what you feel down below. So again, continue to do that, but don't forget to definitely hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Definitely send this along, and definitely do what you can, because we do appreciate you guys for all that you do. Now, let's go ahead and just jump right into it. So, okay, NBA insider Marc Stein, he has oftentimes had a lot to say in regards to Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks and what's been going on in regards to those guys right now. So, of course, we all know what's been going on with Trae Young as of lately. Unfortunately, right now, he's been out since early in the season. You know, he had a lower leg injury versus the Brooklyn Nets that sidelined him. And, of course, it's definitely been interesting as of lately, okay? The Atlanta Hawks right now are 11-7. It seems as if they are doing a good job without Trae Young. A lot of people have been saying in the comments, oh, they're good without Trae Young. Maybe the Hawks might go on without him. We also can even go back as far as last year, the chambers of the Atlanta Hawks re-signing Trae Young to an extended contract. Either it be a max or a super max deal. We can also talk about the memes that Trae Young has let out through social media. You know, the Jordan meme of him looking at the tablet and laughing, almost as if Trae Young received a laughable amount from the Atlanta Hawks organization. And it even got so far to a point where the Atlanta Hawks and Trae Young both decided we're going to table this idea for a moment and we're going to see what we can do for this season. And this season, I said it is important and imperative that the Atlanta Hawks and Trae Young start fast, stay fast, and finish strong. So just laying the groundwork of what we all know in regards to Trae Young right now. Again, he's going to be reevaluated on November 30th, and we will see if he will be able to return to the lineup and hopefully help the Atlanta Hawks continue through the season and get into a position of the playoffs, not the play-in, not the Atlanta Hawks Invitational, but the playoffs nonetheless. So I'll just read this out to you really quickly. So reports from, again, from the Stein line, which is Marc Stein's his own platform. He basically indicated that Zach LaVine and the LaVine camp tried to spark interest in a deal that would land that would have sent Trae Young to the Sacramento Kings and would have sent Zach LaVine to Atlanta. Okay, now former general manager Monty McNair, he even explored the idea inside of the Sacramento Kings front office, including every discussions about potential trade structures that involved, get this, De'Aaron Fox. And those conversations never advanced. Instead, the transition to new general manager Scott Perry ended in ending any remaining possibilities. So Scott Perry, of course, was the new general manager. He came in. Monty McNair, you guys remember, he was fired last season. We also remembered that their coach Mike Brown was also fired. He now is the head coach of the not Sacramento Kings, but the New York Knicks. So I bring all of those different things up because, of course, Zach LaVine would have ended up in an Atlanta Hawks jersey. Those talks between Monty McNair, the front offices of the Sacramento Kings, all of those different ideas, because we know once they fired Mike Brown early in the season, I think midway through the season of last year, we knew there was going to be some significant changes with the Sacramento Kings, and there was possibly going to be a disbursement of all of the players. It even got so far as we on this channel, and you can look down through all the videos, we had even given the idea or even explored the idea of possibly bringing in Domantas Sabonis down to the Atlanta Hawks organization. So we knew that the Kings were going to definitely do a lot of changes, a lot of moving come the trade deadline. And, of course, we know that once the trade deadline came along, we knew De'Aaron Fox. He ended up going down to the Sacramento Kings with Wemby. He went down to the Sacramento Kings with Wemby. And, of course, you know now that the Sacramento Kings, they are a very good, young, talented team that do have potential to push for a Western Conference title and possibly within the coming future be an NBA champion contender. So we know how that played out. But going further, Perry, their new general manager, Scott Perry, went so far as saying that he has made it extremely clear that the Kings will not pursue a list of players. And I will let you guys know this list: Trae Young, LaMelo Ball, or Ja Morant. Those three players, they do not plan on bringing those players into Sacramento. Their focus in Sacramento is to more so look towards a defensive-based team, defensive-based guards that can fit within that profile. A lot of the other guards that were listed, LaMelo Ball, Ja Morant, Trae Young, are more so the athletic scorers. You dig what I'm saying? Point guys, point getters. You know, LaMelo Ball is definitely a point getter, a distributor. He's definitely a passer. But score first kind of guy. Trae Young as well is a top scorer for the Atlanta Hawks, but he's also the NBA's #1 assist leader for the last couple of years. So we know how that plays out. But again, with Scott Perry emphasizing that he was not going to go for that anymore, it basically all but thwarted any ideas or any any notion of Trae Young being traded to the Sacramento Kings or possibly being sent there. What I do find interesting is Zach LaVine being interested or asking or even trying to get talks started up for him to, be sent to Atlanta for Trae Young. Now, I do think Zach LaVine is a very good player. I'll say that again. I do think he's a very good player. I just don't believe that he would be a match for the Atlanta Hawks organization or franchise. Okay, in his 2 years with the Sacramento Kings, he's averaged about 22 points per game. Just about a steal, 0.1 blocks. 3 assists per game. His 3-point percentage is actually pretty decent, not too bad, 43%. His field goal percentage is 50%. So Zach LaVine is not a bad player, but I do not see him as somebody that can lead this Atlanta Hawks team as constructed. And I've said on this channel many times before, actually, the team that we have in place, and that is with Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels, Zaccharie Risacher, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. The Atlanta Hawks as constructed right now, they are a team that is good surrounding Trae Young. I do believe that it definitely embodies something that Trae Young could flourish in. We've even gone so far as saying on this channel that it's been years that Trae Young has been on this team, and the front office and the organization themselves hadn't necessarily done their just due to get players around Trae Young to help this team get further than just the play-in tournament and then out, or play-in tournament first round and home. They want to get back to the lore of 2021 when the Atlanta Hawks definitely went into the Eastern Conference Final. Actually, 6 games versus the Milwaukee Bucks in the 2021 Eastern Conference Final. So we know now what is before the Atlanta Hawks and what definitely could have happened. This could have happened if the Sacramento Kings wasn't such a dumpster fire, just being completely honest. If the Sacramento Kings weren't who they were, I do think that there would have been more serious talks of Trae Young potentially going there and potentially being traded, either be a trade for trade where De'Aaron Fox were to come here, or De'Aaron Fox and Zach LaVine come here for Trae Young and maybe a potential pick or something like that. And due to the aprons and how things are listed in the NBA, I know that things would have definitely been a little more difficult than what we think or what we see. So with that, I do understand that, yes, it was a possibility. It even goes so far as saying that there was definitely a chance of it. Not even a chance, but more so conversations of it started by Zach LaVine. But again, with the firing of Monty McNair, their general manager, and then bringing in Scott Perry as the new general manager, and Scott Perry going so far as saying that they plan on not bringing in guys like LaMelo Ball, like Trae Young, like Ja Morant, it basically shut the door on that. We now understand that that is just not the case whatsoever. But what say you? You guys leave a comment down below. Let me know how you feel in regards to that situation or what could be. I know we speak in hyperbole every now and again, but I definitely want to know what you guys feel, okay? My name is Walter Pollard. This is Atlanta Hawks Digest, and I'm signing out. Peace.